We begin with the bombshell that's led Trump's team to really be on alert or in damage control mode, even though they have gotten some procedural steps, victories of sorts in this Mar-a-Lago case. Well, now the news is Donald Trump's team lied to the National Archives long before they ever got his home searched. Washington Post reports the archives were actually told none of that material that remains a big issue in this criminal investigation was sensitive or classified at all, that Trump had 12 boxes of news clippings. Well, that's blatantly false. We know the FBI found hundreds of classified documents. We know this went way beyond news clippings. And we also know that even if you are skeptical of Donald Trump and you're used to him misleading or lying to people in public, we're not talking about whether that is a good or bad thing or right or wrong ethically. We're talking about an investigation where if you start making false assertions to the government or to the prosecutors, you're talking about new and separate crimes. And that comes amidst the uproar as a judge has now ruled on what I mentioned, aspects of this where they are getting, on the procedural side, some of the steps they want. The judge ruled in favor of Donald Trump, blocking the Justice Department from currently reviewing the seized classified records. Now, I've told you before, all of this stuff is procedural. No one is saying, for example, return the records to Donald Trump. No one suggested that he, for example, lawfully possessed them or owned them, which is bad because it means that he or people around him basically were holding stolen material. None of this suggests that he's in the clear for what he did. But procedurally, this is a ruling that is going to at least slow things down. It's also controversial because the judge says she wouldn't even accept the DOJ's assertion that Trump shouldn't have had the classified documents without this review. There's some reaction now from top legal experts and DOJ veterans.
There's so many outrageous and stupid, frankly, pieces of this decision. You never thought there'd be something worse than her last decision, and this actually topped it.
An opinion that I think was widely decried as being untethered from any understanding of the law.
We used to say in the Solicitor General's office that some appeals write themselves. This is one, and it is a terrible, terrible abuse of our legal system.
You can hear the rebuke there, although this is still a nation of laws, and if you abide by the rule of law, that means you abide by these lawful rulings. They may be temporary, they may be overturned in the appeals court, but as of right now, this is the ruling, whether you like it or not. The Justice Department, though, is expected to appeal, and when you hear someone like Neil Katyal say the appeal writes itself, well, that matters. Remember, all he did was appeals. He did the Supreme Court. That's the high level, not the first round. And he's saying he thinks that at the appeals process or the ultimate arbiter, the Supreme Court, this could be changed. So they want to intervene. They want to get access to the classified documents on the DOJ side. The delay continues. The appeal would eventually be heard by the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. That does lean conservative in terms of the appointees. The judge has appointed a special master here who is coming out of Brooklyn, the Eastern District of New York, Raymond Dearie, the only candidate who both sides could agree upon. And we're getting some progress there. The first order of business is both parties to have come to where he is in Brooklyn Tuesday and meet and go over any, well, open issues as they figure out this review. Meanwhile, you have the escalations in the January 6th criminal probe at DOJ, the 40-plus subpoenas. 3 of them cover 18 categories, so more and more details coming out, including communications with people in 6 states about the fraudulent elector plot, according to this new Post reporting. They're also interested in that rally prior to the insurrection and the fundraising. In Congress, the January 6th committee is planning a new hearing. The chairman says they may have their own sort of October surprise, that the goal will be to have information pushed out before the November election. And the interim report, which we have been following, and we have an update on that actually next week, could also come in that October window.